Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Has this happened to you, or maybe you're feeling it right now, but there's just something calling to you? You feel that you should be doing something else in life, or there should be a change in your life, and you can't put your finger on it. You're not really sure what it is, but you know this isn't what's going on now isn't 100% the way it should be. There's something bigger, maybe something greater floating out there. What do you do in that situation? We're going to talk with somebody who is very intuitive. She helps people with this all the time with their personal growth and also this mysterious thing called energy. And she has something called the Soul Alignment. Well, actually, it's the Intuitive Energy Academy. She's a soul alignment coach, and she joins us once again. So great to have her here. I can almost smell the sage from where she is. Tiffinnea Roberts is on the program. Welcome back. How are you?
Hi there. I'm doing wonderful. How are you this morning?
I'm good. It's funny. Before we even started, I saw a little a waft of smoke coming from just near where you are. And I'm thinking to myself, you're saging, aren't you? And that's what you were doing. So tell us why you do that. And can you do that for me? Can I clear energy as well?
Oh, yes, let's have a session. I love this stuff.
Mm,
All right. So the reason going to why I would say is for the spiritual practice and just the practice itself of clearing energy. So when I call it smudging. I'm from Northern Canada.
mhm.
And so when I'm doing smudging or practices where clearing energy, I'm not just thinking of taking away negative energy. I'm thinking of moving all energy, allowing everything to go where it needs to go at the right time for the right purpose. I'm thinking of clearing all energies. So that if I have joyous energy or strong protection energy, I can share that and it goes where it needs to go. And believe it or not, we need negative energy sometimes. We need those days where we're feeling a little off so that we can understand how to get back on track and that we could appreciate the other days as well, where we're feeling a little bit more fulfilled.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've often heard, and by the way, smudging, I've heard that term, but I've often heard that you can't feel something positive. You can't be happy unless you're sad. Imagine if there was no sadness ever. That was it. How would you know what happy is? You had nothing to compare it to. So I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard people say you need to walk through the darkness to get to the light.
Right.
And often I celebrate with my clients when they're like, oh, this is a dark day. This is so low. I'm so low. And I'm like, well, you better be celebrating because could you imagine what the light's going to be at the end of this? It's
Right.
great.
I love
Um,
that. I like to use the analogy as well of it's like going through the birth canal because I can imagine that's not really fun for a baby. So, but when you get on the other side, you are born and it's, a wonderful experience, but getting there, maybe not so much. So the smudging thing, you can do, you're virtual. Here we are. For anybody that's listening and not watching. So you can do that and clear the energy around me and move the energy.
Oh, for sure. I have a lot of clients that are online. I have clients that are in Scandinavia. It's on the other
Wow.
side of the world, right?
Hmm.
Um, and or Australia. And they often come to me and say like, okay, I really need this energy. I need you to take a like either do clearing or moving or something because things aren't moving. And so it definitely works no matter where you are. So I hope whoever's listening in can find space for themselves to take this time
Hmm.
because it is meant for you. If you are listening at any time, in any place, this is meant for you. So honor yourself, take this time because it's your time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little shell and I have some sage in here
Hmm.
and I'm going to light this up and there'll be some smoke. And I would ask that if anybody can safely do this, that I'll walk you through it, but if you can safely, at one time, I'll get you to close your eyes and we will do some energy clearing.
Love it.
Moving, depending on what you need. Okay.
I have questions, but I'll wait till you're done.
No worries. So when I'm like lighting this up and then the smoke is coming, almost I would say in maybe every culture, and they have smoke when it comes to energy and clearing and spiritual work, or even in religious work, because it's it is so clearing, right? We're gonna take this, and then afterwards, when the air clears, sometimes you open up your windows. So I'm gonna take this here, and because I'll be speaking today, I'm gonna be taking this much coming here. I want it in my throat, also my heart, my stomach. Right? So I'm going to hand it off to here, and you could take what you want. And so if you are listening or you are watching, just be mindful, just letting things go, letting happy things go, letting maybe negative things go.
How would you let happy things go?
So other people can enjoy it too.
Oh,
Because if I'm happy, that's going to help somebody else be happy, like my son or my mom or my dad.
hmm.
And when I was a teacher, when my students were happy, that would make me happy, right? So share happiness.
Hmm.
Just like negativity could be shared, and you have to be careful with that. Okay, so I'm just going to place this down. And I have a candle going as well. And so what I'm going to ask yourself and anybody who's listening to do is I'm going to get you to look in your mind's eye, just looking up. You could close your eyes, keeping your eyebrows rolled up. You're going to take a deep breath in and visualize and imagine the number 3 times. Relaxing your mind, your neck, shoulders. Another deep breath in and visualize and imagine the number 2 3 times. Relaxing your chest, your core, inside and outside of your abdomen. Another deep breath in. Visualize and imagine the number 1 3 times. Relaxing your legs, your knees, shins, feet, all the way down to your toes. Relax the mind. Any thoughts come to mind, it's okay, just let them float off on a cloud. And right now, I will be pulling energy that no longer serves you, allowing it to go, focusing on the breath coming in through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth, whatever is more comfortable. Follow your breath with no judgment. Letting go of fear, letting go of anger, letting the energy in your bodies rise up so it can be released through the breath, and letting it go. Breathing in, breathing out, fully exhaling. And take a few more deep breaths in and out. And when you are ready, you can return.
Hmm.
All right. So how do you feel?
Kind of clearer.
Clear? Okay. So while I was doing this, as it's for the collective, one thing that I felt was yourself or others is they're worried about making sure all their deadlines come into place. Their time, they're worried about time. Am I going to make it there? Do I have enough time during the day? Did I prepare myself right for time?
You're right. And I'm always transparent, so stand by. I have a meeting, a presentation coming up, excuse me, in less than 2 hours, and I'm preparing for it here and wondering, because they like it on paper, if I have everything together and will I get it done in time? And I know I will, and I even worried earlier today, how am I going to get it all fit in? I did. It was okay. But, got to make sure it's done. Very important. Some could say that, oh, coincidence. No, but that's in real time. That's literally right now. Interesting.
And so just so you know that the guidance for you on that, and just because I channel, is that knowing that even if there's a piece that you realize, oh, I missed that. I guess you can flow very nicely, and that's a strength. And so knowing that, oh, I might have missed something afterwards, using your strength, because that's what it's there for. It's
Yep.
You're not meant to have every little thing to be, you're not,
Exactly right. I gotcha. Yeah.
right? Because you're supposed to be flowing, right?
Yeah.
And because that's your strength, right? Not everybody has that strength, so lean into it. Great.
Totally. I know exactly what you're saying. It's don't and especially don't dwell on it. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that. Oh no, it's like, so get back to you on that. Anyway, on the other point, and just keep moving. Wow. Interesting. That's wild. With the smudging, are you supposed to open windows or doors? Now, I've often heard that because you want to let the negative energy out. In my space here in this office building, you can't open the windows, and the door doesn't it leads to a hallway. You got to take an elevator. So I guess it could open the door. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so when I do smudging, like say when my son was little, if he would have a nightmare, he'd be like, "Mom, can you smudge? Mom, take this away." And so I never opened up any doors or windows at that moment. When I smudge, I have everything mostly closed, and so I smudge, I send things out, and when I'm done the smudging and moving the energy and just asking everything to move, then I open up the windows and doors. So if you feel like there's too much smoke or you don't like the smell of it, maybe you can smudge in the little area and then have like a fan going out. But that would be up to you and whoever else is in the hallway.
I can't believe you. Well, I can believe because you're you. You reference your son because for the first time in years, I mean, I never have nightmares. And 2 nights ago, I had like three, all unrelated, all different ones. And I believe the universe sends things to you. And I think you're here to deliver that message that I need to smudge even my bedroom.
Yeah, and they're probably not unrelated. I do some dream analysis as well. So, for you having a nightmare, and you don't need to say it out now, but in part of like my beliefs and my culture is, and we say this to little kids, if they wake up with a nightmare, like the moms or daddies, whoever's there, just say, well, what happened? Because if you tell me, then it goes away and it can't happen. And so
Mm.
as we become adults, when we have a nightmare, we're like, I don't need to tell anybody that. That was weird. And so we don't often let go of that. And so it might come back into our like waking life,
So
right?
it's
So
better to let go of it
yeah,
or
of
not.
course. So, like say, okay, so I had this weird nightmare. This is what happened, because holding it in means that it can't go out, so it can't happen. Like, right? Because you
I can
don't want
spew
these
it.
nightmares to happen, right?
I can Tiffinnea, I can spew it in 10 seconds and be done with it. Get it out there.
Good.
There was a confrontation with somebody. I don't remember what it was. It was physical, very weird. Yeah, typical chasing. That one comes up a lot. The other one that was bothersome is a dog. I have a white dog, and I saw him go over a railing, and I looked down and saw him. He may have been okay, but I don't know if he was. And that's where like it ended. Like I didn't want to continue it. And that's where it left off. Um, and I think there was another one, but now I should have wrote it down, but I don't remember. I never get them. It was the weirdest thing. I don't get it. um, but I don't know. I don't know if it means something, but yeah, the dog one was weird. Was weird.
Have you lost something?
Meaning?
Have you lost something? And I don't mean your dog. I mean like an actual thing that you're thinking about bringing it back, but you're worried like it might be broken or something.
I'd have to think deeper about that. Not really sure. Not really
Yeah.
sure. Hmm.
Might be something that you lost and you're worried like, oh, if I find it, it's probably better not because it might be broken.
Yeah, I got to think about that. But interesting. And now you speak, about your culture. We're here talking. I'm going to bring this up. It's out there. However, um, I heard recently somebody said that sin can equal death. Okay,
Sin can equal.
death.
Okay.
Okay. I know somebody that hasn't done the right thing in their life and has done the wrong thing along the way over a period of years in the last call it 5, 8, whatever. They experienced people passing close in their life in the last 3 years. And I just found out this morning somebody else very close to them just passed away. Just, it's some of them, they were sick and then, you didn't know when they were going to pass. Others suddenly, as in last year. I just found it was interesting that I heard that message and then somebody say it, and then 3 days later, then this, and this is somebody that had my opinion hasn't done the right thing. So I find it's just weird coincidence or not. I don't know.
I don't necessarily believe in coincidence, but I'm not sure about this situation. It does make me think of um, almost like hitting changes. Like, have you noticed that many people that all of a sudden decide to walk a spiritual path or be guided into a certain direction, especially for helping other people and serving other people,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them got sick right before or had a moment in life where it was like, okay, it was either this or I was dying, or just things weren't going great. Like they were not living what they should be living. So in my mind, when you're telling the story about this individual, if they are not living the way that they ultimately, why they came here, why they should, what they should be doing and how they should be serving, it sounds almost like their connections to um, the other souls, just like their contracts were up.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right.
Which is a whole other podcast when we talk about
Yeah.
soul contracts. So we talked about and thank you for everything today. They're so interesting. Interesting experience, especially you're smudging. We talked about your calling and how you know that there's something else out there and how you should align with that. Let's talk about that for a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, often you got to fall down like this deep, dark, like, I don't know, well to wake up and figure out your calling. Today I had a session with my clients about like, it was called goal alchemy. And so really diving deep into being the person that can transform your aspirations into a reality, right? And when you talk about goal setting and like, because when we're called for something, we want to do that, right? We have a goal to do it. And so when we aren't really aligned with that, our goals aren't going to be aligned with ourselves. And so some of my clients are, well, I don't know what I want. What do I want? I don't know. And there's a part of me that smiles and kind of enjoys that, because it shows them that the goals that they have aren't meant for them. It shows them, like, so if you don't know what you want. And so my advice to anybody in that position, because I've been there, I was a teacher in school, like in elementary schools and high schools for 10 years. And I couldn't align with today's curriculum system. I really couldn't, because I felt like it was setting them up for a test instead of setting them up for life, so that's probably why I came into, no, what really aligns with me is helping people in life, their life, their journey. And so if anybody is at that point where, like, I don't know what I want, I just maybe don't want this. I don't want this feeling. I don't not want this never ending day-to-day grind that I don't feel is meant for me. I suggest that, well, if you know you don't want to feel that way, well, what's the opposite of that? How do you want to feel? So, and if you know how you want to feel, whether that's buying your dream vehicle and how that would make you feel, and understanding, okay, so these are my goals. Why do I want them? What would they do for me? And how would they make me feel? Then that's actually going to lead you to the path of what your calling is, what you should be doing for serving, and what your purpose is, more fulfilling purpose.
Isn't that known as classic manifestation, where you're thinking of how it feels, like the car? It would feel great, to be cruising in a Tesla right now with the technology, the windows open, I can smell the leather and all of that.
Oh, I'm so glad you said smell that leather. Previously, how you were like, smell sage. So one of the visualization techniques that I do with my clients, and I think a lot of people may be familiar with, is sensory visualization. So when you are visualizing yourself, whether it's in that car or leaving that office that you just landed your dream job, whatever it is, opening up your own restaurant, feel all the senses that would come. What does the street smell like beside your restaurant? What do your feet feel like standing on that sidewalk? You got a new bike. What does it feel like holding that new bike and like going through a bike path?
Yeah.
What does the water sound like if you are next to a stream? So connecting with all the senses while you're visualizing.
I love that. Can I share in the seconds we have left? And this was fairly recently. I had some time to kill. I was waiting in my car. I manifested the perfect life partner, if you will. Don't think I'm weird, but I had a conversation with her in my car. She was sitting right there. No, she wasn't, but she was. And I had a conversation with her and just what it would feel like and what we would talk about. And just that feeling of that person.
Yeah. Can I ask, did you manifest? Is this here for you? Or is it getting closer?
I don't know. I will tell you this. I manifested somebody who did show up and right in every way, except one certain area, which I wasn't very specific in my manifesting. Not enough time to get into it, but the reason I bring, and perfect in every way, except this one major area. The reason I bring that up is to be specific. And when it comes to a person, that doesn't mean I want brown eyes, brown hair. No, you let that go. It's the other qualities that, in my understanding, that you need to be specific with. When we talk about the car, though, I know somebody who is a life coach, and she manifested that Tesla. She couldn't afford it. She wanted the high-end Tesla. In 6 months, she had enough money to buy cash.
these things are everywhere. And I think like the more people look into it, the more people are going to be like, well, how can this work for me?
Right.
And
Right.
that's like the golden spot, right? Because it does work.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I should say like, I know that we don't have too much time left,
We have
but
like 20 seconds. I'm not even kidding.
all right. All right. So how's this for a manifestation? I said my son's super good at manifesting. Over the weekend, he did a showcase and he did a Fight Club monologue. He's been invited to Hollywood this summer. He's going to Hollywood.
Wow.
And I don't think there was much people that did that for him. That was him. He reached out to these people, he joined, and yeah.
Wow. Wow. This stuff is real. And I have to be honest, I was deep into it, I don't know, 6 months ago. And I kind of took my foot off the gas on it. And I need to get back into it of the just believing it's here. It's coming your way. It's all there. This is just a piece of what you offer when you work with people on all different levels. So good talking with you today. It really was. Like I learned layers deeper in terms of who you are and what you offer. Like super cool. How does somebody find you if they want to make some changes in their life? They need some intuitive guidance, all of that.
All right, so people could reach me at my website, intuitiveenergyacademy.com, or they could go to socials, Tiffinnea Roberts, Brave Peaceful Lioness, and again, Intuitive Energy Academy.
Wonderful again talking with you. And there's so much to dig into. I mean, we could do an entire 5 podcasts on manifesting and the right way to do it. So,
and next week, we're going to talk about why you put your foot on the brake.
She doesn't stop, man. She just keeps, she digs deep, and I'm fine with that. Love it. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Good energy, everybody. We just brought it in a little while ago. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.